Ow! So today in the DSD Yoda garage, I'm going to be doing a somewhat controversial modification to my Tacoma. This modification is said to ruin your on-road handling. It's a complete liability and it's not worth it. I've also heard that this modification is completely worth it. You'll never go back and it helps your off-road handling a ton and it gives you more flex off-road. That modification is the removal of your sway bar. So I'm going to remove my sway bar today. I'm going to get some measurements before I remove it and after I remove it to see how much flex is gained. And then in about a week, I should be able to give a better review on if it was worth it, how it handles on-road, how it handles off-road, and if you should do it to your Tacoma. Let's get into it. So before I remove the sway bar, I want to get a measurement of the flex before I remove it. So I got it flexed out here on this little parking spot marker, and I'm going to take a measurement from the top of the wheel to the bottom of the wheel well. It should be somewhere around 6 inches, so let's take a measurement. Yeah, we're about 6 1/4, 6 1/8 inches. So we're going to remove the sway bar, do this test again, and see how much flex I've gained because of that sway bar removal. So now that we're onto the truck, we have 4 17mm bolts and 2 12mm bolts to remove this skid plate so that we can get to the rest of the sway bar. Now I have the TRD skid plate. It's a little heavy, so I might use a floor jack to help me get this out. And you also may only have 4 17mm bolts if you don't have the TRD skid plate. Let's get to it. So the next pieces for removal on this to get your sway bar out are these crossbars. You should have 6 17mm bolts. I only have 3 because there's been some modifications done to this truck and clearly not all the bolts have made it back in. So we're going to get those out of there and I'll show you the next step. So the next step is to remove your sway bar end links. We're going to remove this piece right here. There's a 6mm Allen key and then a 17mm nut that we're going to have to remove. Now I've already put vice grips on this. I've removed the wheel so that I can have more access to it. My truck is jacked up and I've got jack stands underneath. So I'm going to take a breaker bar with a 17mm socket on it and start removing this, and hopefully I can get this off because this is the hardest part of the removal. So once I got that nut broken, it came off fairly easily. The vice grips helped a ton. I would suggest taking the wheel off, putting vice grips on that so it doesn't spin freely. You will avoid having to use that 6mm Allen key in there. And now I'm going to get this wheel back on, get it back down to the ground, and repeat on the other side. And hopefully we can wiggle this sway bar out of here. So we're on the other side. We've got the wheel removed. We got it jacked up. I'm going to put these vice grips right here on the far side of this end link. I'm going to grab my 17mm socket with a breaker bar, try to break that off. And just like that, it's off. My vice grips broke loose there for a second and I didn't notice, but simple as that. Pull your end link out, ready to throw the wheel back on, and get the last couple brackets of the sway bar, and we're good to go. Now we're back under the truck, ready to remove the last couple things so we can pull the sway bar out. We have this bracket over here and a copy bracket right over here. These are a 14mm socket. I'm going to try it on my impact first. However, I think I might need a breaker bar because some of this stuff's pretty rusty underneath. Now that those are dropped, Should be able to wiggle this out of here pretty easily. And there we go. Sway bars removed. I'm going to put these bolts back in here because they are holding apart to my C4 Fab bumper. And then put the skid plate on. We'll go get testing. We got the skid plate. We're going to start getting this lined up, getting everything back together down here. So we're back out in the field, flexed out, ready to take another measurement. We got the tape measure. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I'll put it up here anyways, I was at 6 1/8 inches, 6 to 1/4, 1/8, about that, from the top of the wheel to the bottom of the wheel well. It looks significant if you're looking at it this way, but we're going to take a measurement and see what we're actually at. So it looks like we're at about 5.5. So that's about a 3/4 inch difference, give or take a little bit. So it's a little bit less of a flex than I thought, but it does look significantly more. And I haven't noticed a difference in the ride just driving around my field to get out here. But check back in about 2 weeks, maybe a week, somewhere around there, and I'll do a whole deep dive into how it drove on-road, how it drove off-road. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching. Tell me if you decide to remove your sway bar in your Tacoma and how you like it. Thanks for watching.